السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. الحمد للہ رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام علی سید الانبیاء والمرسلین وعلی آلہ واصحابہ اجمعین. اما بعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu idha qumtum ila salati faghsilu wujuhakum wa aydiyakum ila al-marafiqi wamsahu bi ru'usikum wa arjulakum ila al-ka'bayn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells all the believers, all the Muslims, that when you stand up for salah, the first thing that a person needs to do is to attain tahara, is to attain purity. So for that, the first step is, if a person is in the state of janaba, he has to make ghusl, as previously discussed. But if he or she is not in the state of janaba, then doing wudhu or ablution is sufficient. And the ahkam, or how many faraidh of this, is what we will be discussing today, inshallah. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned 4 faraidh. There are 4 faraidh of wudhu. Number 1 is to wash the face. Now, washing the face once is compulsory in wudhu. What is considered as a face? A person's face is considered from the bottom of his hair, where his hairline starts, from his hairline, you could say, or the start of his forehead, until the bottom of his chin, and from one side, from the right side of the earlobe till the left side of the earlobe. This is considered as the face. Now, if someone has a big forehead, then obviously, or if someone is bald, then it doesn't mean that he has to wash his entire head. It just means that from the top of his forehead, where his forehead is, he would have to wash his face. So under the chin, behind the ears, they're not considered part of the face. The face is what is apparent from the front. After that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to wash both arms, including the elbows. Now, it is fard to wash each limb once, but to wash it 3 times is a sunnah, which we will discuss later on. But if someone was to wash one arm, including its elbow, 1 time, and all of it has become wet, that would be sufficient. He has completed his fard. The third thing is to make masha over the head. Now, to do masha over 1/4 of a head is compulsory, and to do the whole head is amongst the sunan, which we will discuss further as well. And lastly, to wash the feet, including the ankles. One needs to understand that washing the elbows and washing the ankles is included. It is considered part of that limb. So the foot would be considered from the ankle itself until the end of the toe. So all of that is 1 foot, and the arm or the elbow is considered from the elbow, so including the elbow, till the tip of your fingers. So everything is considered, and everything has to be washed. Now, there are 2 conditions in order for wudhu to be complete. Number 1 is to use enough water while washing the limbs that the water drips off them. Meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَغْسِلُوا, and then wash your face and wash your arms. So what is classified as washing? Washing is classified if there's enough water that you put onto your arm and there's water dripping off it. But if someone was to put only a little bit of water on it, that will not be classified as washing. Rather, that would be classified as wiping. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to wash. So enough water that the water falls off. Anything less than that, it will not be permissible. The second condition is that there should be nothing on the body of a person that will prevent water from reaching the body. For example, if someone has nail polish. Now, because nail polish is not water absorbent, it doesn't absorb, it makes sure that the water doesn't hit the bottom. So that way, if someone has nail polish on their fingers, then that wudu will not be complete. Similarly, for men, those who work in the painting industry, if they've got paint on their body or their faces and they're making wudu, their wudu is still not accepted. They have to remove all the paint from their body in order, meaning not all their body, the parts which need to be washed for wudu, if they have paint on their arms or their faces and they make wudu, their wudu will not be accepted. That means their salah will not be accepted, and if they're the imam, the people's salah will also not be accepted. So that needs to be taken care of. A lot of people have this misunderstanding or misconception that Islam is easy and we don't have to do it like this. No, Islam's rulings are clear, and Islam wants people to follow or adhere to the rules of Sharia, to the rules of Islam, not the other way around. Unfortunately, nowadays we try enforcing the deen according to our desires. We want the deen to somehow bend for us. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, all those with iman, ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasul. So we have to follow Allah and His Messenger. They do not have to follow us. So it is crucial that we understand that we wash ourselves properly, because this is the hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And lastly, if there is some kind of hardship in it, then alhamdulillah, nowadays we have tools and we have equipment that we can use that can protect us from this problem. For example, we have gloves, we have long sleeve shirts, we can wear those while painting, or we could use face masks, the shielded face masks, and there are other things that we can put over our head as well. So there's equipment that we can wear in order to do our jobs correctly. Yes, it may be a little bit of inconvenience to our daily life, but this is the actual reward, is that when we sacrifice our convenience in order to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.